March 1944. 76 men crawl through the freezing darkness of a tunnel beneath Stalag Luft III. It is the most daring escape attempt of the war, the one made famous decades later by the film The Great Escape. But behind the Hollywood story are real men with real names and real endings. This is the story of one of them. Flight Lieutenant Alastair Mackintosh Gunn, Sandy to his friends, a man who had flown alone over enemy territory, and one of the 50 murdered after the Great Escape. Alastair Donald Mackintosh Gunn was born on the 27th of September 1919 in Auchterarder, Perthshire. He was the son of James and Adelaide Gunn. He excelled both in the classroom and on the sports field, playing rugby, cricket and anything that demanded speed or skill. He studied at Fettes College in Edinburgh before training as an engineer at Harland and Wolff's shipyard in Glasgow, but his ambitions reached higher than ship decks. In 1938 he began a degree in mechanical sciences at Cambridge, dreaming of a career designing diesel engines. The Second World War changed everything. On the 22nd of February 1940, Gunn joined the Royal Air Force. Within a year, he was a qualified pilot, soon flying with Coastal Command in Avro Hanson's on reconnaissance missions. He moved on to one of the most dangerous jobs in the RAF, photo reconnaissance in stripped-down Spitfires. No guns, no armour, just a camera and sheer nerve, flying alone at high altitude over enemy waters. From RAF Wick in the far north of Scotland, he photographed the fjords of Norway, tracking German battleships like the Tirpitz. These were long, bitterly cold flights, often in storms, often without a second chance if something went wrong. And on the 5th of March 1942, something did. That morning, Gunn took off from Wick in Spitfire AA-810. His mission: photograph German naval anchorages near Trondheim. Two Messerschmitt Bf-109 spotted him. Their attack left his Spitfire riddled with bullets and his hands and face burned. Gunn bailed out, parachuting into occupied Norway, where he was quickly captured. The Germans suspected he'd flown from a secret base inside Norway and interrogated him for 3 weeks before sending him to Stalag Luft III, the camp that would become infamous for the Great Escape. In captivity, Gunn became a key member of the tunnelling team. On the night of the 24th of March 1944, he was among the 76 men who wriggled through the tunnel known as Harry into the freezing dark. He'd barely been free for an hour before he was recaptured on the road to Görlitz. Taken to the local prison, Gunn and 5 others were told bluntly by the Gestapo they would lose their heads. On the morning of the 6th of April 1944, he and the other 5 were taken away. They were never seen alive again. No trial, no return to camp, just murder. Flight Lieutenant Alastair Mackintosh Gunn was 24 years old. His ashes now rest in Poznan Old Garrison Cemetery, beneath the words chosen by his family: "May he rest in thy peace and awake to a joyful resurrection." But this isn't quite where the story ends. In 2018, 76 years after it fell from the sky, Gunn's Spitfire AA-810 was found on a remote Norwegian mountainside by Tony Hoskins. Buried in a peat bog, the wreckage still bore nearly 200 bullet holes from that day in 1942. The hope now is to restore the aircraft to flying condition, not just as a machine, but as a living memorial to Gunn and every reconnaissance pilot who faced the enemy alone. The Great Escape has been told 1,000 times, but for the families of the 50 who never came home, it was no adventure story. Flight Lieutenant Alastair Donald Mackintosh Gunn was more than a name on a memorial. He was a son, a friend, a pilot who braved the loneliest missions in the war and paid with his life. We remember the Great Escape for its daring, but today we remember Sandy Gunn for his courage, lest we forget. If you like listening to the stories of the history of those who came before, then please give the video a like and subscribe to keep updated about future videos of the history of those who came before.